Hey everyone, it's Neil Patel and welcome to another day of Facebook Unlocked. Today I'm going to be breaking down how you can get more organic reach from Facebook. And of course, this is going to help you go from 0 to 200,000 followers. Now in this course, we've already covered 3 other lessons. If you miss any of them, you can go to neilpatel.com/training and then click on Facebook Unlocked where you can find all the previous lessons as well as the worksheets, PDFs that go along with it. So that way you can be on your journey to 200,000 followers. So let's dive right in. If you want the most amount of organic reach, you got to first understand Facebook's news feed algorithm. What I mean by this is when you post on Facebook, Facebook determines if they should show your content you're posting to other people or if they should barely show it to anyone, or heck, even worse, if they should show it to no one. What I would recommend is first you want to post information that really helps other people. There's billions of people on Facebook. If something is super educational, helpful, it's much more likely to do better. Also, when you're posting, you want to think about who are your followers. What are they interested in? What are they looking for? If you post stuff that resonates with your followers, you're going to be doing better than if your followers don't like what you're posting. Here's what I mean by this. Whatever you post, sure, there's someone in the world who will like it. But you have followers or friends. Maybe it's 10, maybe it's 100, maybe it's 1,000, hopefully a little bit more than that by now. Even if there's other people who aren't following you that like your content, if your main friends group or follower group doesn't like your content, what's going to happen is no one else is really going to see it. So it first needs to appeal to the audience that you're targeting. And that's probably the most important aspect of the newsfeed algorithm. The second most important part is when you drive people off of Facebook, you don't do as well compared to when you keep people on Facebook. And the best way that I found to do consistently well is just by publishing evergreen content. Evergreen content is that type of content that someone can read today or a year from now, or heck, even 3 or 4 years from now, and it's still relevant. A lot of those types of content are like how-to guides or product reviews or tips or listicles, and that's the kind of evergreen content that does well. When you're creating it, you need to make sure you're using tools like Ubersuggest to find the right long tail keywords to integrate within your content. That way you can keep getting traffic over and over again to it. You want to optimize for SEO, but keep in mind user experience is the most important thing. And I also recommend that you write for beginners and you avoid things like technical jargon or other keywords that people don't understand. And of course, when you're creating this content, don't be afraid to repurpose it. Search engines don't penalize for duplicate content. So I repurpose my content on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and the list goes on and on. That what helped me get more traffic over time. And when you're posting, you're probably wondering, hey Neil, when should I post? Well, you can just look at your audience and see when are they on Facebook because they provide analytics. And I recommend posting when the majority of them are going to be online. But also look at what are other people in your industry doing. Who are they targeting? What time are they posting? Which one of their posts are getting the most engagements? Which ones aren't? This will give you ideas on best times to post. I tend to find that weekdays earlier in the morning for me tends to work well, but that may not work well for you. So again, I recommend that you look at your analytics. You can also post based off of your audience, right? If you know your customers, what their needs, their pains are, what time they're on, what they're really looking for, the offer, what do they really need help for? This could all help you, and you can heck even create ads to target them, and some of those ads could be pushed into pages where you're selling them. When posting on Facebook, I recommend that you do native posting. What I mean by this is try to post as much of the content on Facebook. Don't try to send them off to your website. And then the second thing that I would recommend is don't use one of those apps to schedule your content. Facebook wants you to go on Facebook and post through there versus using an app that allows you to schedule. Reason being is if you use an app, are they going to generate any ad revenue from you? Of course not. They need you to be on Facebook to generate that ad revenue. And even if you post natively, it's not all going to work out the way you want. And this is why you need to test your post frequency. Should you post multiple times a week, multiple times a day? You don't want to wear people out. Every industry is going to be different. If your page is on Celebrity gossip, you can post multiple times a day. If your page is on B2B marketing, posting 3-4 times a day is going to be overkill and people are going to stop following you and interacting with your content. So test your frequency, and when you're testing, look at what content's doing well, look what's not doing well. This will help you get a baseline, and then you can compare what's going on week over week, so that way you can maximize your traffic. And this is why it's so important to analyze the data. Look at the numbers, look at the dates that you're posting. This will help you figure out how to fine tune and only share the stuff that's gonna not necessarily quote unquote go viral, because you can't control virality, but more so post the stuff that people want to engage with, like, share, comment. I also recommend that you compare Facebook to other sources. You need to look at Google Ads, YouTube Ads, SEO, TV, newspaper, radio. All this will give you an understanding of what's working in your sector, but on different platforms. Typically what's working in other platforms within your sector, and if people are liking it, keep in mind the audience on Facebook in your sector is probably very similar, and it should work for them as well. One thing to test is boosting your reach. And you don't have to just spend money on ads to do this. You can tell your friends, your colleagues, you can tell anyone in your network to all look at your post, and if they like it, share it and leave a comment. The leaving a comment's the most important part, not necessarily a comment with a yes or a no, but the more engaged that comment is, the better off that post is going to do on Facebook. And if you don't have a big network, I recommend partnering up with other Facebook pages. When you partner up with them, and you can look for ones with similar pages, similar audiences, you can start promoting their stuff, they can start promoting your stuff. It creates this win-win situation. And if you don't want to partner with pages, you can always use advocacy to grow your brand. Especially if you start building up those brand evangelists, they're going to evangelize you, they're going to push you. And to start getting some of those people in, when you're doing good work with people, or people are getting benefits, your products or services, take that customer feedback, take those testimonials, post it, share it. It can even be an image format. And this will help get more and more people who want similar results to start following your fan page. Now, if you just do it very boring and salesy, it's not going to work too well. Keep in mind, even if you post a testimonial, if it's not beneficial to the audience, it's not going to do well. So for example, I wouldn't just post a testimonial. I would post a testimonial with tips on how someone can replicate that on their own. That tends to do much better. When you're going throughout the process, testing different post types, frequencies, again, I can't emphasize enough, you need to analyze what's working, what's not, what's generating the most amount of likes, what's generating the most amount of shares, more importantly, what's generating the most amount of comments. This will give you an idea of what's working. You'll end up learning what your fans like and what they don't, which is going to help you get more net followers. Because remember, every time you post, yes, you can potentially get more followers, but you can also lose followers if people don't like what you're posting. And that's really important, because you need to monitor these insights to figure out what's working and what's not working. One other thing that I recommend is to build your brand. There's a lot of fake news going on a lot of these social sites. So Facebook wants to promote more people with brands and authority. If you end up building up your brand authority, more people get to know you, you get verified, all this can help because they know you're much more likely to produce fake news. And one way to increase your brand authority is by following the rule of 7 in marketing. When someone sees or interacts with your brand 7 times, they're much more likely to evangelize you, remember you, talk about you, and that's super important. That's how I build brands. That's why I use Facebook Messenger, posting on Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram. These all give me more touch points with people, which can increase the probability of the rule of 7. And last but not least, if you don't love what you're posting, if you don't love helping people, if you don't love the industry you're in, and you don't care, well, you're not going to do as well. That's why I recommend you try to put other people first. Putting them first is what's going to get you the results that you're looking for. Now make sure you check out neilpatel.com/training, where you can find all the worksheets and modules related to Facebook Unlocked. If you enjoyed this video, like it, share it, tell people about it. If you have any questions, leave a comment. I'll do my best to answer it and help you out. Thank you for watching.